Mr. Chairman, I have a prepared statement, and I will submit it for the record. But I want to just kind of speak extemporaneously. I see both sides of this issue. I have a GM assembly plant in my district in Arlington, Texas, that's been in business since 1954. There's 2,400 people that work there. Management about 250, and union UAW workers around 2,200. They've been making cars and trucks in Arlington, Texas over 50 years. And I've got dealers all over my district, about a dozen of which have received closure or termination or failure to renew notices. I met yesterday with the president of GM North America and also the president of Chrysler. And I see the management side of this, the manufacturing and the business side of it. It's a different era, and we have to make tough decisions to keep U.S. nameplate manufacturing cars and trucks in America. I understand that. But there's another side. There's a human side, a dealer side, and we're going to hear from Mr. Frank Blankenbeckler of Waxahachie, Texas. He is a fourth-generation GM dealer, and I think a second-generation Jeep dealer. His grandfather started selling Chevrolets in Waxahachie, Texas in 1926. He made it through the Great Depression. He made it. His family made it through World War II when you had quotas. They made it through the boom years of the 50s. They made it through the gas rationing of the 70s. Boom or bust. There's been a Blankenbeckler selling cars in Waxahachie, Texas for over 80 years. And in May, he got letters on I think back-to-back, Jeep terminating his contract immediately or within 3 weeks, and GM saying they weren't going to renew it. Now, when the GM and the Chrysler people, the managers, were in my office yesterday, they were very sincere. They had their flip charts and they had their notebooks, and they could look up and show me if I wanted to see the performance or non-performance of all the dealers in my district. But that doesn't touch on the human story. Again, Carlisle Chevrolet in Waxahachie, Texas has 40 employees. They're not at the bottom of these flow charts. Now, they're not at the top either, but they're not at the bottom. Mr. Blankenbeckler told me that last year he paid $1.3 million in taxes in Ellis County. Employed 40 people. Sells an average of 50 cars and trucks a month. In good years, he can double that. And so he could do better. He says that. But his business that's been in his family for 4 generations, if we can't get Chrysler and GM to take a second look, it's gone. And his son, Austin, who's sitting right out here, his opportunity to the American way of life, as we know it, is gone. Now, what I'm asking, Mr. Chairman, is I'm not asking the management of Chrysler and GM to do things that don't make sound business economic sense. But what I am asking is to show a little mercy, if that's the right term. Every decision does not have to be the toughest decision you can make. You know, you can err on the side of leniency, and if somebody is selling 50.5 cars a month and the goal is for them to sell 51, you don't have to cut them off at the knees. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to hear from both sides, but I really, hopefully by the end of the day, want to hear from the presidents of the manufacturing companies that they will go back and take a second look at some of these decisions. And if there is an opportunity that makes reasonable business sense, that they'll give the Frank Blankenbecklers and the people that he represents today an opportunity to continue in business. Because if they go out of business, it's gone. And, you know, ultimately, if nobody's selling cars and trucks, it doesn't matter what your manufacturing capability is, nobody's going to buy them. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.